Hi, Taurus. How are we doing this week? All right. We're not going to have as rough of a week as we did last week. So we do have a full moon coming up. We're going to be doing your weekly from the 27th to the 2nd. All right. So we're going to do the Moonology manifestation cards and see what is going on. All right. I think the full moon's on the 29th, I believe. All right. Coming out already. Find a balance and take a breather. So maybe you need to relax and find some balance this week. Might be your focus. All right. We'll step up and lead underneath that. So I do feel like it's kind of being able to travel down that road and really just kind of get grounded. Maybe you're out going for walks this week. You know, maybe you're just kind of allowing yourself to go through the emotions with all that water and earth in there. 5 of Cups showing up. We're using the Daydream deck with the Ace of Swords and the Lovers. So maybe you're clarifying a choice or a decision that you have going on, especially when it comes to love or something that you love. You know, and that's maybe where you're needing to find some balance, especially with the 5 of Cups coming out. So it could just be working through some kind of emotions and you just need to take a minute. Maybe go for a walk, maybe get out and you're going to hear all the puppies because every time somebody walks in the living room, they're just like, so it is what it is. I think it was my daughter. So definitely in hermit mode. So taking a moment out, getting some kind of introspection at the start of this week, you know, especially when it comes to soulmates with that 2 of Cups here. And I feel like with those cups being on top of their head, it's kind of like a dreamy aspect, or it's kind of just a really deep thought process that you've been kind of putting into it. All right, what else do we have going on for the beautiful Taurus? Death card coming out. So definitely maybe some transformation, maybe some kind of ending has been coming through. We have Temperance, more balance. And we have the Tower. Ooh, okay. What you got going on, Taurus? That's a lot. Some heavy energy. I feel like a little anxious right now. So I feel like it's time to just take a breath. And just breathe. And maybe a good time to really just kind of go out on a walk. Enjoy some nature. Maybe sit out in the moonlight. You know, listen to it, especially if you've had some kind of tower moment. You know, that's different for everybody. And you're really just looking for some kind of peace and balance within it. You know, and I feel like you're kind of pulling your energy back with that hermit, maybe sitting down and really introspecting about the people that you care about in your life. You know, soulmates do not have to be just lovers. They can be friends, family, co-workers, anything along the lines. And what's needing to really change with that Death card. You know, especially if you're feeling kind of unbalanced right now. And that Page of Pentacles in there. So this might be like focused around money. What else do we have going on? Ooh, we have the Ace of Cups and the 9 of Swords. 8 of Swords. I'll learn my Roman numerals eventually. Oh, and the 10 of Pentacles came out with that. You got a lot going on. I like it. So the Queen of Cups and the World on the bottom, which tells me is that you're kind of in this mode of, I feel like self-reflection, self-love, self-care at the moment. You know, it's about that new chapter, new start. It's kind of like making the world go round. He's holding the whole entire world there. And it's kind of also about flowing. And I feel like you're off into the sunset, especially when it comes to something that you want to build, something that you want to create, something stable. And that could be what the situation is about finding some kind of balance and taking a situation and just kind of allowing it to breathe through it. So I feel like you're taking some introspection and to focus on the things that you care about. Maybe this is you learning how to be a little bit more emotionally content or stable and just putting your emotions in check. And this could be you dealing with somebody that's in that, but I really feel like this is you right now, just kind of taking that moment out to really just sort out your emotions and being open to it with that Ace of Cups. And this could be like, I don't really feel like a new start, but just really the start of being emotionally balanced, if that makes sense to you. You know, you could have been dealing with somebody in your energy, a soulmate, somebody you really cared about that really just kind of got you in your feels, you know, maybe mentally drained you, got you stuck in your own world, your own prison, but you can always walk away. You can pull those two swords out and walk away. There's always a path out. So I feel like if you're dealing with somebody in your world that makes you feel trapped in your head, maybe that's the thing that you need to let go with this Death card or transform, so to speak. But I feel like transformation is coming, especially with that Death card and that Nine of Pentacles. And this is really about finding your own stability. It's kind of like you've planted those seeds, you know, you've put the work in. Now you're seeing the fruits of your labor and you're going to keep going down that path to that 10 of Pentacles, you know. And this might be some hard work and some effort. And I feel like you've really put a lot of emotional work into this. What's your advice this week? It's an Ace of Swords and the Nine of Cups. I definitely like this. With the King of Wands. Knight of Wands on the bottom. Very driven this week. I feel like this is about emotions and clarity. And I definitely feel like the more you get very clear about your choices and decisions, allows you to become more fulfilled with that Nine of Cups. And kind of pushes you in this King of Wands where you can light your own fire. You can do just about anything. But it really just takes some movement from you, you know, to push yourself forward. So definitely a really, really good week to take a breath, you know, get balanced, you know, take some moment to sort out any emotional issues, especially when it comes to people in your life that make you feel like you're stuck in your own head, and allow yourself to, I feel like, in those thoughts. And that pushes you, I feel like, in a more confident path, opens up new ideas, new concepts, and just opens up the way you see things and the way things fulfill you. And it definitely like ignites some kind of fire within you. I feel like that was super deep for a week, but I'm going to go with it. I really like that for you guys. All right. Now we're going to get to the little love portion that I do. Still haven't decided if I'm going to keep doing this, but why not? What do we have going on for love from my beautiful Taurus? All right. If you guys do like these, please leave me a comment below. Let me know if you want to keep hearing them. What do we have going on for Taurus for love? We have realignment. That flipped over. Anything else? Do we want to shuffle? Yeah, we do one more. and happiness. We'll take that. On the bottom. I like this. This is awesome. So we have success. It's your time to shine. Do what you pour your heart into. And that is that Ace of Cups. I love that. Taking that introspection, really figuring out what you care about, what you love. You know, what is emotional to you. And I feel like it's about maybe realigning what's important and shifting your perspective. You know, especially seeing that Eight of Swords there. And then we have your happiness. You know, new discoveries. And I feel like that's more about that Ace of Swords, those new discoveries that allow you to kind of put yourself in that drive. Really beautiful energy. Not so much about love, but I like it. All right, what can you tell me about this? You got that Ace of Pentacles, new things, new stability, new foundations. So I feel like this is kind of maybe a change in perspective. You know, it's kind of like once you can breathe and find some balance, you start to realign, find some happiness and success within a situation. You know, definitely building something solid. You know, it might kind of make you tired and kind of want to sit out and take a break for a minute, especially with that Four of Swords being there. But, and definitely carries its burdens with that Ten of Wands. Ooh, all of those come out. I'm not going to do that. Might be dealing with a really stubborn person. That Emperor wanted to come flying out. You know? And then we have the Two of Cups again. Kind of I feel like aligning with the people that are meant to be in your life is kind of going to be the theme. We have Justice. This might be around Libra season. We get full moon in Libra. And the Justice card. Six of Pentacles. It's kind of like what you give, you receive. What you receive, you give type of energy. But I feel like you might be starting something new, especially when it comes to love, or bringing in somebody that makes life worth growing. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but I really like that, you know? And this is about like allowing yourself to kind of take a time out and knowing that it's justified, it's fair, and it's fair to you. You know, and if you're like anybody else, because I know Taurus is stubborn, but, you know, it's kind of like bearing that burden of kind of taking that moment. I feel like taking that break, taking that breather, you know, finding the balance in your life, you know, that might be kind of a heavy burden, but I feel like the more you kind of allow things to flow, the more things grow, especially with the Empress being there. You know, spend less time focusing on the past, you know, the past regrets, the past remorse, and kind of let that go and allow yourself to give to yourself type of energy. You know, you do have things coming in with that Three of Wands, but it's also, I feel like, being very content and open-minded. And that might not make sense to everybody, but really good energy, you know? But I feel like if you stay in that regret, it's going to keep you in like indecision and scatterbrain type of energy. So definitely don't do that. But I feel like deep down in your heart, you know what makes you happy. So don't give up on that. All right, that's what I have for my beautiful Taurus. I don't think this was so much love as more just allowing yourself to find some kind of balance so you can kind of realign with yourself. You know, taking a step back, taking a breather so you can focus on your happiness. And I do see success, whether this is work, career, love, for either or. readings, either or stories, there's definitely a very big thing about balance this week. So that's what I have for you, beautiful Taurus. And I will, I think, have your monthlies out sometime this week. All right, so please look for those, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.